Well, we had a good run, boys. It was fun while it lasted. As many of you are probably aware, in just a few days, the free update and Tours and Tournaments DLC will release for Crusader Kings 3. And this is something I have mixed feelings about. On one hand, I am so excited and honored that I have been chosen as one of the few people to get their grubby hands on this content early. But on the other hand, the changes they made to the building system and domain limit have me worried about my favorite way to play the game, the tall playthrough. For those of you who don't know, playing tall in CK3 is when you hold a small portion of the map and focus more on internal economic growth rather than military expansion. Doing this relied heavily on your ability to build extremely powerful buildings quickly and cheaply through the manipulation of stacking percent bonuses. However, with the free update, Paradox has knocked us tall players down a couple pegs by reducing the starting number of buildings you can have in any holding by 2. But all hope is not lost. If there's anything I know about Paradox is when they taketh, they also giveth. With multiple new game mechanics in both the update and DLC, there has to be ways of breaking the game and growing a realm taller than ever before. So let's get into the game and see if Paradox really did kill the tall playthrough. Alright guys, just before we get started, I need to let you know that for only $5 more than the Tours and Tournaments DLC, you can pick up the Chapter 2 bundle that will get you an event pack and flavor pack for free when they release later this year. So if you're an avid player of Crusader Kings 3, you probably already know that the Netherlands are actually an amazing place for playing tall. And I've never played a tall game as the Netherlands before. So what better place for us to test if playing tall is still relevant post Tours and Tournaments DLC. Okay, so now that we are in our beautiful Duchy of Holland, you can see a few things. We got these new pop-ups over here saying that we have new activities available to us. And if we click on this nice cup, it opens up the activities screen. So this is where your hunts and feasts and pilgrimage will be now, as well as these new grand activities, which include the Grand Tournament. So we're going to get into these more when they arise naturally. Going to be the biggest difference for you guys playing this game is the changes that were made in the free update. The most important ones, I think, are the changes to the buildings, which if I click on my capital, you can see we only have 2 building slots. So they cut the amount of buildings you have in your capital of a county by 2. And if I click on a secondary barony, like the city in my capital, you can see we only have 1 available building slot.
Oh, jeezy pips, man.
Now these building slots are not gone forever. They just made it so that you need to pick up certain technologies in order to unlock more building slots. And actually, if you're able to go all the way to High Medieval, you can actually have 6 building slots per county. So technically they made buildings even stronger, but they made it a lot longer for them to take effect. So that's one of the ways they nerfed how many domains you can hold. The other one is it now takes every 6 stewardship for you to go up 1 domain limit, when before it was only 5. A little change, but I think it will still have an effect. Another big thing they did was they added this thing called accolades, which is like a special title you can give to your knights, and they get you certain benefits depending on their traits. And these benefits aren't only related to military, they can also be related to economic things, which is really interesting. However, you do need to get to Banis to unlock the first one, which we don't have right now. But I do have a plan of converting to the Dutch culture, because my player, although he is living in Holland, he is the owner of the Duchy of Holland, he is actually Norse. But before we do this, I want to be sure to pass limited crown authority, because what that does, it lets us revoke land away from our vassals, which I'm going to want to do because you can see we have room for 2 more holdings right now. And he will accept 100% chance. So right there we have a new county now, which is very nice. And then I think I will also revoke this guy's land, which he probably won't accept. That's fine because we have a lot bigger of an army than him, which actually brings me to the other massive change they made with the free update, and that is the change to how men-at-arms work and the bonuses you get from buildings. If I were to click on my Vigmin men-at-arms, which is a ranged unit, you can see I can station them in one of my baronies. They get different benefits depending on what buildings are in that holding where they're stationed. So if I were to station them in the capital, as you can see, they actually get a plus 3.6 damage plus 4 toughness, which is pretty healthy. 20% boost, like right off the beginning of the game with no buildings, is pretty decent. And then if we were to look at the buildings, of which they actually added some new ones, which are going to be pretty cool, and we'll get into that later. If we were able to build a militia camps, you can see it boosts our archer damage and skirmisher damage by 20%, and that's just tier 1. If we go to tier 4 as an example, you can see we're going to be getting 80% boost to damage, which is pretty crazy. So you might think they actually boosted how these men-at-arms damage stacking works, but you have to remember that's only going to apply to one group of men-at-arms. If I had another regiment of Vigmin here, they would not be getting those same benefits because you can only put one regiment in one holding. And in no time we should have them captured in jail and we can revoke his title as well. So I also need to get married because my character is 47 and has no kids. So we're gonna need to have some heirs. And I think what I'm gonna do for our first marriage is actually sort by inheritable traits. And we want to try to find somebody who has this very nice Amazonian trait, because this boosts your prowess. And a lot of these tours that I'm going to be going to, because of the tours and tournaments DLC, depend on your character's prowess skill. Now you can see we also have an option of doing a grand wedding, which is a pretty cool new activity which gets you a lot of prestige and some other benefits. I don't really want to spend the gold to do that right now, so I'll just do a normal wedding.
Gotcha, bitch!
And there you go, I hit 100%. I also captured their heir, so I think I can ransom him for 41 extra gold. But since they only have they're only a one county realm, I still have 100%. So now we can enforce our demands. Make sure we squeeze the absolute most gold we can out of this guy before revoking his title. I will now go and convert to local culture.
Hello there.
Which you can see gives my player a new hat here and signifying that he is now Dutch.
Hello.
They reworked some of the buildings that they had previously, like the manor houses. What they did do was reduce the cost. It used to cost, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it costed 185 gold to build this bad boy. They made it only 150 while still keeping the same amount of tax you get from it. So it seems like an even more powerful building than it was before. So we're going to get started on building one of those. One thing I did before we converted was pick up these Varanian veterans, because if we wanted to create a new men-at-arms regiment, you can see we lost the ability to create any of these guys now. We're going to want to make sure to station these guys as well. You can see they're going to be gaining a lot of damage from just being stationed in a normal place, and they're already extremely powerful. And just like that, guys, we have now taken control of the whole Duchy of Holland. We hold all the titles personally. And as the control increases in these 3 places we just took, you should see our gold increase by quite a lot. Okay, we also have a dynastic legacy available to us, and I'm going to go for one of the trees I barely ever go down, and that is the desirable match tree. Not because this perk is very important, this one actually is pretty shitty, but the renowned name perk actually gets us another accolade. And I say another because when we converted to the Dutch culture, the Dutch actually have the Banished tradition unlocked already. So that means that we have an accolade. So if we click on our knights, you can see we have this screen available to us to create an accolade, and we can choose some of these knights that we want, and we can look at their benefits. So this first knight here, he has the primary accolade attribute of Thug, which means that he gets us dread gain per tyranny. And now that could be important if you're gonna do like a crazy dread play, but I don't plan on doing that, so it's not really the best one. The secondary attribute is the Scoundrel, which reduces the cost of hiring mercenaries, which is also not very good. So I married my spymaster off to this guy because he is a knight, because he's strong enough to be a knight in our army anyway, and he has pretty decent stewardship, so I can actually put him as my steward. So now if I go back to my knights, find this guy, put him as the accolade, and what do we get? Uncontrolled territory attacker advantage. That's actually pretty good. That's like any offensive battle, I'll get +2. And then the secondary one is the levy reinforcement rate, which is, fine. I guess we'll take this. Levy maintenance, if we get it to tier 3, So we will create the accolade with this guy. He's now going to be our acclaimed knight, the Knight of Dominance.
Domination.
Okay, and up here you can see we just got a pop-up saying there is an event happening near us. We've been invited to a hunt hosted by this count over here. So we can accept this, which brings up the travel screen. So this is what's going to happen anytime you want to go to an event. And you can see you have to travel through all the counties. And there's different values of danger for each one of these tiles. Like you can see in some of these, we have a 7% chance of danger. And that just means that you get a pop-up where I think you have the chance of getting wounded. And you can do things like hire certain traveling companions that are going to reduce that danger. But I'm pretty happy with this. Like 7% is the highest we got. So we can join the hunt. And it is free to join. So there's pretty much no downside. And I think we have the option of gaining experience in some of these cool new traits that they also added to the game. Okay, so here we are at the hunt itself. I think it's a falconry hunt. There's like 2 different types now. And I don't think there's much for me to actually do if it's not really my hunt.
My disappointment.
So we failed the hunt.
Is
I did gain some prestige from that though, so that's pretty good. And we got this cool hunter trait, which you can see already gains us +1 prowess, +5% stress loss, but it's a new thing they added, which is called tiered traits. So as I get experience, like this was the falconry hunt, so we gain 3 whole experience. I think we need 50 or more in order to go to tier 1, but you can see when we do get that, you will earn some pretty cool things. Now another new thing, I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot this game, that they added is this power sharing menu down here. And the way this works is when I go on an event, I need a regent to take control of my realm. It's not only when I'm on an event, but if I'm also a child ruling the court, this regent will slowly gain power the longer they are in control. So if I was on a really long event, then maybe they could go all the way up to some of the higher tiers where they have the option of stealing the throne away from you. But most of the times these regents can actually help you. Like right now I have them set on fill coffers. So they will have pop-ups where maybe they can get me extra gold or free development. Okay, so here we have our first grand tournament being hosted by the King of West Francia. We're definitely going to join this bad boy. Okay, so here we are in the tournament and there's a bunch of things you can do when you're waiting for the tournament to start. First of all, I don't think I really have a good chance of winning, but I'm going to go for the triumph intent, which means, you know, win. You can do a bunch of different things, like at the temple you can gain piety, at the artisan's quarter you can buy artifacts, but in the tourney grounds you can actually increase your chance of winning, or normally you get a pop-up that actually increases your chance of winning, because right now we're not even qualifying. But I actually don't think we actually didn't get that, so instead I'll just take this 5 experience in the hunter trait and be on my merry way. I don't even think I'm going to qualify here. That's kind of embarrassing. So since I completely failed in that tournament, the only benefit I got was for the next 5 years, I get -5% for stress gain, which I guess, you know, better than nothing. So now that we've finished the manor houses in Amsterdam, I think I'm going to move my capital here. We're already getting pretty decent bonuses of development growth from here, considering we got agrarian, it's in farmlands. We're a bureaucratic people, that's our ethos, so we get +15% from that, which is decent. So add that all up, you got an 85% increase in our development. So we got some raiders coming from, I think, Norway? Well, Sweden. And they did successfully raid this county on the edge of my territory, which is annoying. But I think I will catch them here so I can get the money back from them at least. And we get to use our beautiful Varanian veterans, which you can see are now getting +15 damage, because I successfully made the wooden barracks in the county where they're stationed. Even though it's only 10 years from the start of the game, you can see a 35% bonus to damage. It's actually pretty crazy. And we're building more farms and fields all over the place. However, we are almost running out of buildings now. I think it could be fun to play around with this blacksmith's building, so I'm going to try building one of these in this county, just to see how powerful it is. It only is going to take 14 months to build because we have a lot of time bonuses going our way. Oh, okay, so we died. I kind of knew this was going to happen. Our land did split. We have a regent who is my mother. The good thing, actually, the cool thing about regents is when you're a child, normally your domains just take an absolute hit. But right now, because our mom is our regent and she has decent stewardship, we get +1 domain from her, which is pretty nice, I have to say. We still hold, luckily, Amsterdam, which is where we have all our gold coming from, so we should have decent gold income, and we hold the place where we built the barracks, so we still will have our very beefy Iranian veterans. Other than this, I do want to take this duchy away from my sister, so I'm going to declare war on her. She's pretty weak, and probably doesn't have any men-at-arms either. The thing I like about being a child is you do get to pick your own traits, and diligent will be amazing for us because it lets us, it increases our holding taxes in farmlands, which will be good, but it lets us take the developed capital decision, which will help us get more development in the capital, which is already went up 2 since the start of the game. It's going up pretty nicely. Okay, so we hit 100%, force our demands, and now she becomes our count. Does our crown authority go down? No, it didn't, so we could revoke this from her. Although we have a truce with her for now. And anyway, we wouldn't have enough domain limit to hold all 3 of those counties, so I think it's okay. We can play just holding our measly 3 counties for now. So here you can see, because we've had a regent for a while, our mother has increased her power to all the way to 3. So I think these are more valuable if you're playing as a regent, because you can do things like revoke titles and retract vassals, you know, give yourself more power. But I'm not sure if the computers will be doing that, especially considering my mother doesn't really hold any land, so I don't think she can even do something like that. So we just hit 16, which means we're an adult now. We got the astute intellectual education trait, which is really good. I like all our traits too. We have a decent amount of stewardship. So also I just married, how do I even see my husband? Right. I want to see my mom. Oh, here. So I just married this Mercian guy, and he has claims on the Jarldom of Mercia, and I'm like, Jarldom? That's not normal. So I click on it, and look at this. Hastings has invaded Mercia.
That's a funny little character. I like that.
I tried to revoke the land from my sister, and this time she did not accept, so we can go into a war with her, and when we win the war, we'll be able to lock her up and revoke the land from her that way. And there you go, I have all my land back. It is at low control, so it'll probably take a while for us to see all the value from these territories. Okay, and we finally earned enough money to create our first city, and you have to remember that our cities get a lot of extra benefits because of this cultural tradition right here, as well as reduced costs in building in them. So we're going to build that city along the coast near Amsterdam. To be fair, I think all of these counties count as on the coast, so this city should help us increase our development growth a lot in Amsterdam itself. We already brought it up to 9 when I think we started around 5 or something. You can see we're starting to develop a little bit here. Alright, so our first city has finished in Amsterdam, and I'm going to build a trade ports down here. We're actually really close to unlocking Ledger, which will get us an extra building slot in all of our territories, which is going to be really valuable. But I'm going to go for trade ports first, because when we unlock that new slot, the mayors tend to go for guilds normally. So he'll be earning money from owning the city and then owning the small harbors. So he'll get enough money on his own to build that guilds, I assume. And then the city gives us 5%, the small harbors gives us 5%, and the guilds gives us 5%. So this one city should be getting us a 15% bonus in our development growth in the capital. Alright, so I just unlocked Ledger, and now you can see all of our holdings have 1 extra building slot in them. So yeah, I guess I'll go for farms and fields first. We're making decent money, but we still have pretty low control in a couple of these counties. So once that gets back to full control, we should be making closer to the 8 gold we were making previously. Oh baby, so we just got a new liege. Oh no, why am I gaining stress? Okay, it's not my good child.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, so my liege just made me his steward, And that's perfect because it gets us +2 tax per month, plus 7% domain tax, building construction cost reduction, and stewardship lifestyle experience, which is all very, very healthy. Finally, we have a grand tournament we can actually join. I've been going to like a bunch of them, but I realize I can't participate in any of the, either it be archery, melee, all that stuff. But the board game one, I'm pretty sure we're allowed to join. So I'm going to accept this. Okay, so here we are. We actually have qualified already for the board game tournament. I love that. I am not favored to win, but I have good stats all around, so I kind of like our odds. Let's see, do I have anything that... Here we go. Our score will increase slightly, and this person gains opinion with us. Let's accept that, and the contest begins. And there we go. So we finally have picked up this other trait, which is what you get for competing in these grand tournaments, and it's similar to the hunter trait where... it's tiered and you get benefits from all of the trees at once. However, I don't think we'll get much experience in these three because we don't really get to compete in those tournaments as a woman, but the wit tree has a lot of very nice perks in terms of monthly lifestyle experience as well as diplomacy. There we go, we won our first game. Now, I think we have to win the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in order to actually win the tournament. Oh, and I think we just won the second one as well. And here is the last round. Yes, and we actually won that as well. Let's go. Okay, so we won our first tournament. That's actually huge. So I actually get I get 80 gold because of that wager I put on myself. 150 prestige, 15 more gold. We get this nice trait here, or this nice perk here. We get the prize when it's finished, and everybody else gets tabletop player. That's actually awesome. Okay, so we got prize brooch, which gives us 1 knight, as well as plus 12 vassal limit, not that important, but plus 26 prestige. That's a really great artifact for us to pick up here. I really like that. Looking at my capital, you can see the development isn't really going up that fast anymore. We have all these bonuses stacking, but the thing is, we're at 11 development, which is a lot higher than the rest of my territories. Even some of these places I don't own, they have like 11 here, 8 over here. It's these 3 counties that are really low because they're not really touching where my capital is, so the development isn't spreading to them. So I think I'm going to switch my steward on increasing the development in this county just for a little bit, because it's going to go up pretty quickly. We do have tier 2 fishing net weavers here. So if we can get this development up to like maybe 10, and then it'll start spreading to these 2 counties, and we should see my average development start increasing nicely. We did get it up by 0.02, but the faster we do this, the faster we can research, and the faster we can move into the early medieval era, which will be done in about 14 years. Wow, so I'm planning a feast in Amsterdam where I actually have a building that makes it cheaper. If we go tier 1 on all these things here, these like activity options, it only costs 21 gold. So let's try it and we'll see how much stress we lose. We're at 95 right now. Whoa, who's raiding me?
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh, look at these damage my Iranian veterans are doing. Plus 45 damage from the station holding. Pretty crazy. Okay, so it looks like we would have lost 32 stress from the cheapest option, which is really good value, must I say. And look at this, we actually get plus 20% development growth in the capital. I should have been doing this the whole time. Ooh, so I just went in a grand tournament that was a horse race. We got another one of these nice artifacts. That gives me another knight. Okay, I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to go for the option of just reforming our Dutch culture, picking up a new tradition. But that means I need some more prestige, and in order to do that, I'll have to host a grand wedding. And I did just marry this guy, so I think I'll just have to wait until my primary heir turns 16, and then we can do a grand wedding for him, gain a ton of prestige, and then reform our culture as necessary. Okay, I also just picked up enough renown to go to the next tier in the glory tree, and you can see that's going to get us our next accolade. Okay, I'm going to try this guy for the Hunt Master. I think it could be cool getting more hunter experience and maybe picking up some of those hunter traits. because the hunter traits are really good. Like if we hit 1, you can see you get +1 learning, +1 prowess, and then +1 stewardship, +1 learning. So pretty valuable. Oh, so look at this. Our older son, who we disinherited, actually turned 16. So we could do a grand wedding for him actually, if we sort by alliance power. I think they both have to be adults. Doesn't look like there's honestly too many of them. Here, this one's 21. That could work. So let's set up a grand wedding. Okay, here we go. Ooh, if we put it in the capital, it looks like we'll get gold from that. So I'm going to do that. Prestige gain. So we're going to go tier 3 for this one. That gives us prestige gain. And maybe for wedding venue, we can go down 1 tier so we can afford this. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, so we're getting a lot of prestige from this and we didn't even finish the event yet. And there you go. So you can see at the end of the day, we're going to get 1,002 prestige for finishing that, but we already went up almost like 4k. Did we have 2k when we started this? And we gained 55 gold, so a little bit of money back. That's pretty crazy, honestly. Oh, and we get the plus 20% development growth because of the Great Banquet. That's pretty cool as well. So now we actually earned enough prestige to reform our culture. And like we said, I'm going to go for the Guardian Architects. We actually have enough to go for one that costs 5,000, but I don't think there's any that are really more worth it than the Guardian Architects. So we'll pick up Guardian Architects. It's going to take 16 years to go through. And then we should really be skyrocketing in terms of our development. Yeah, we brought our gold up to 15 per month right now, which is pretty crazy. The fact that we only have 3 buildings, you know, it's not slowing us down at least. Ooh, and look at this. I won the poetry competition. Very nice. That's actually pretty good because our wit skill is really high and we have high diplomacy. So I guess it makes sense. And I got another prized ring. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have too many rings, not enough fingers to even put them on. Ooh, you can see we're actually pretty close to going to tier 2 in the wit path. So now we're getting a bonus of 3 nice just from our the things we won at tournaments. That is quite awesome.
Stop! You violated the law.
You can see in this county where we were increasing the development, we brought it all the way up to 11 now. So it should be spreading pretty nicely to these places next to it. And that'll just increase the more we build cities and stuff in these places. But since we did hit 11 over there, I think I'm going to switch my guy back onto increasing the development in the capital, which you can see will be going up by a whopping 4.2 right now. Okay, this is pretty epic. I was just checking out some of these new map types they had because I wanted to look at our development, which is, you know, coming along. But look at this. You can go to economy mode and you get to see where all the wonders are. This is like so cool. If it's blue, I think it means it's not built. And then if it's like grayed out, it means you like I would not be able to build it. But man, this is freaking crazy.
It's time to stop!
Now that's a lot of damage!
I think I'm gonna go ahead and start a murder scheme on this lady here because I want to take control of the Duchy of Brittany for myself. I won't hold any land there personally, but I'll just use it to like milk my vassals for some gold from there. Okay, and we just embraced Guardian Architects, which is massive because that opens up this court gardener position, which you can see has a maximum, if we could find somebody who's good at their job, of 0.7 development per month in the realm capital. I think we also get a decision to recruit a gardener. So let's see if this guy's a bit better. Yeah, average. So he'll get a 0.4 development per month in the capital. And now if we look at our development, you can see we're going to be making 5.5 out of our capital. And like the stack bonuses here are just crazy. Okay, here we go. The murder scheme is ready and it looks like it went through. And now Holland owns pretty much all of Brittany. And since I got the tech that lets me upgrade my military buildings, barracks, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the barracks building down here. And then when I have enough money, I'll also upgrade the high tents the militia camps building. And when those finish, we'll take a look at the damage of our meta-arms buildings. Okay, so now that you're done, let's take a look. And oh my goodness, we're almost making 30 extra damage on our Vernian veterans, getting to 74. Okay, so this is pretty crazy, but I actually hit enough enough prestige to reform our culture again. And the reason we can do this is because when you go to a new era, you unlock a new tradition for your culture. It's just funny that we can do it with this character twice. I guess they made it pretty easy for us to get a lot more prestige now because of all these events I'm going to. Like, you can just go to hunts and feasts and tournaments and stuff pretty much non-stop, and you don't even have to pay because it's like people around you who are hosting them. But I think what I decided to do for the tradition is pick up collective lands, which is a tradition which does increase our construction time by 20%, which, you know, is bad, but big thing is it increases the development growth by 20%. I think that is going to be huge. Oh no, we have to wait actually.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
So I guess we won't be doing this, but if we're ever in this situation in like 50 years where we're going to pick up a new tradition, I think this is the one we're going to want to go for. Because 20% development growth in all Dutch counties is going to like really speed up our research speed. Oh yeah, so one other cool thing that I didn't show you guys yet is you can actually destroy the green tier and the gray tier artifacts. So like this trinket here, I don't need it at all. You can just destroy it and you actually get money for it. So it's pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, and we died. So now we're gonna be playing as our 10-year-old grandson, which is okay because like I said, the regent thing is pretty good. Like you can see we're getting +2 domain limit from the regent. So I could probably just grant this secondary castle away to somebody. And we're already at 6 of 5 holdings, which I will take. So a bit of a bummer that we lost our Brittany duchy to where we gave our uncle that. But I think we have claims there, so we can get it back once we gain our strength a little bit. So I'm doing a Meet Peers event, and these are actually pretty cool also because there's like a lot more opportunities to gain traits and stuff. Like look at this, we actually have a 80% chance to get the privilege trait, and of course I don't do it. Like I increased my prowess by a little bit from one of them. People are increasing their learning. Overall it was a pretty decent event. I have 19 prowess right now as a child. That is pretty good. Okay, so I just turned 16 without too many problems. Got astute intellectual, we'll take that for sure. Now, this character has a lot of prowess, so I should be pretty good in those grand tournaments when we start getting invited to them. I think I'm going to launch a war against my uncle.
No. Wait.
Oh, this is a claim for my brother. Oh, I'm an idiot. So that was a mistake, but I thought I would get this land, but it was actually because my brother had a claim on it. The only good thing is I can murder him.
Do it.
And I'm his primary heir, so I would get the land if we kill him. I feel bad, like he's a nice guy, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Poof, okay. So right there we just fought off a pretty healthy Viking army that was trying to raid my capital. And we also murdered my brother, so now we got control of Brittany. Finally, we have a grand tournament that I can join. I've been waiting for this because my character has such high prowess. So we got there late, so I wasn't able to do the thing where you can boost your chance of doing well in the tournament, but I'm pretty sure I at least made it in. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to win though. But at least we're going to get whatever this is. Archer damage +2, injury resistant prowess, and we get some experience for that knight trait, and we actually pick it up so we can start gaining experience here. Oh, and I forgot there was the board game too.
Never tell me the odds.
Oh, what the heck? I had a 98% chance and I end up losing? Shambolic. The really cool thing about this trait here is when you don't have any of the tiers unlocked, it just is like a table. But you can see I picked up the wit and the bow tier 1s recently, which is getting me these effects. And you can see it actually puts a little sword and a little chessboard on the table for me. I think it should be a bow. I'm not sure if that's like a glitch, but pretty cool nonetheless. So I just noticed my liege is actually in a war for some pieces of my land. So I cannot have this guy declaring war from the kingdom of Phrygia when that's supposed to be my kingdom. So we're gonna have to join this war, I think. Okay, and we should tick to 100% here, and we do. And there you go. I think our liege is actually kind of falling apart here.
I'm dying. Help me.
He is in a lot of wars. Maybe it might actually be a good time for us to... Well, I guess what we can always do is murder him. It's like a 95% chance to go through. And then there'll be a baby in charge, and I feel like we'll have a pretty easy time beating a literal child. Oh, and right there, you would have seen we just got the battlements perk, which means we can upgrade all the castles in our realm to tier 2 now. Okay, here goes a murder scheme against our friend and king. 95% chance should go through, and there we go. Actually, since we are the regent, I just realized, and now there is a child in charge. Holy crap, we could steal 980 gold. I'm really at a loss to do. I don't know if I should stay the regent of the realm, which is kind of falling apart in these two wars, or if I should just launch my own independence faction against him, or even better, disillusion faction, and totally break up this whole thing. So these guys were declaring war for the kingdom of Phrygia again, but this time it doesn't look like they would take any of our land, which is good, but they were invading my capital, and I do not want my capital to get seized. The good thing is, though, you can see we had upgraded to a keep, which, you know, gets us some more garrison, gives us some more levies, increases the fort level, and we were able just barely to beat them back. And they're probably going to win this war, and I'm looking at my liege now, you know, 2,000 men. I think we probably should just press the demands and try to get this disillusion faction to go.
Nani?
Did you just realize they don't have to invade my land? Oh, these are raiders. So irritating. Alright, I'm just going for the capital at this point. These guys up here are still invading my land for some reason, even though it's not the war target. You guys don't need to do that. It looks like these guys won their war for Phrygia, which we're probably gonna have to take from them. Like, I don't like how I'm supposed to be the one recreating the Netherlands, not you. I think I'm in this weird state where, like, I'm still my liege's regent, even though I've declared a disillusion war against him. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work. Like, I have all these pop-ups that are coming up that are like, oh, you have to do this for your liege, like, choose the best option, and I'm not choosing the best one at all. And there you go, we win the war. So if we enforce our demands now, you should see a explosion of Lotharingia, and the beautiful Duchy of Holland has become independent. Okay, and we've just hit 300 gold, which is big because that's exactly how much we need to found our own kingdom. And this is going to be huge because it's going to give us an extra domain limit. It's going to give us an extra regiment of men-at-arms, which is going to be useful. We also get our nice little royal court here where we can add some artifacts. And we are running a administrative court, which you can see now only gets us a -5 in terms of our building construction cost, not -10 like it did before. Oh, and would you look at this, we actually have another accolade. I guess you get one for being a king, because we didn't have one before. Oh, +4 max size of archery regiments. That's pretty crazy, actually. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with the first guy here because the archer one seems pretty cool. So I'll create this accolade for this guy. And you can see that actually lets us get up to 9 regiments of my range unit here. That seems so crazy because the base is 5. That's almost doubling how many you can have. Oh my god, so I was gonna say, I wanted to check how much money some of my mayors had, because like their buildings have been maxed out for a long time, so they don't really have anything to spend their money on. And look at this guy's got 1,000 gold. Like, I really, instead of going for bailiffs to get more buildings, what I should really be doing is just going manorialism. It'll be done in only 20 years, which is pretty quick, but that'll make it so that all our mayors should have enough gold to upgrade their cities on their own. Like, let's look at this guy.
Gold,
1,300. I didn't realize my mayors were all so freaking rich. 600. So the second I get manorialism, I think all my mayors are just going to go and upgrade their cities, which you can see will gain me more development growth. And then after they're done that, they'll upgrade the buildings in those cities. Man, my development in the capital is at 29 right now. and I'm still making 3.4 per month. The court gardeners thing is absolutely insane. It's just so valuable. And there you go, just after that feast, we actually brought up to 3.8 because we're going to be getting another 20% right here from Great Banquet. And here you can see that does last for 5 years. So you probably should be having feasts on cooldown in your capital for that extra development growth, considering how cheap it is, especially if you have a couple buildings like the manor houses and the farms and fields. Oh, and there you go. Now that I hit tier 1 of foot, you can see they actually added a bow in the trait picture. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But you can see this trait is pretty cool if you do a lot of tournaments in your life. Okay, I also hit 7,000 prestige, so I can finally go ahead and reform the Dutch culture. And again, we're going to pick up collective lands because of mainly just the development growth here. We also got raided. I think they just raided the capital. Yeah, they just raided the capital when I was gone. And it's this army right here, so I can actually still catch them.
I've come for your pickle.
Ooh, and they just went low supply. That's actually pretty huge. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm going to catch them on this tile. We're getting a pretty big advantage modifier. And we should destroy them. No way. There you go. And we got 351 loot from that. They must have been raiding all over. So one good thing about the, another good thing about the administrative court, other than the fact that you get discounts on your buildings, is if you can get it to tier 7, you can see we get another 0.2 development growth in the capital. So we're going to try to get it there. So we'll have to spend an extra 2.8 gold per month, but then it should, in 7 years, go to tier 7, which will be getting us. It's only 0.2, you might be like, that's not that big, but in reality, it's 0.2 times all of these bonuses that we have here. So it's probably worth a pretty healthy amount, if I'm being honest. So I just fabricated a claim on the duchy of the king over here. So I'll declare war for it. And there you go. Enforce our demands, and we get this duchy for ourselves. As long as they never take away the fact that you can just get heaps of gold from the Pope anytime you're playing as a Catholic ruler, I will be happy. 600 gold for 250 piety seems absolutely crazy to me. Like, we can literally just go over here, upgrade a castle, go over here, upgrade a castle, and then we will have every single one of our county's main castles upgraded to tier 2. Okay, we just hit 7 court grandeur, so now if we look at development in the capital, it's all the way up to 35, but we are gaining 4.9 per month. Oh yeah, look at that. She would actually get 0.55 instead of 0.4, so now we're making 5.3 development per month. And there you go, we have got manorialism. Oh yeah, so let's see if these rich mayors with all over 1,500 gold, if they're going to invest that money into their city centers. And there you go, we have the first one to do it down here. So he's upgrading his city. Hopefully this mayor will do the same with her 800 gold. Okay, there we go, another mayor doing it. So I think they're all going to do it. And they're going really quick because I have a bunch of speed bonuses, which are really nice. Oh, and here's another one doing okay, perfect. Okay, so the first city is finished, and look at this, he's even putting his money into the buildings in those cities, which is perfect. So honestly, in just like a few years, I think we should see all our cities be upgraded to tier 2, with all the buildings in them upgraded to tier 4, which if you think about it, is going to be a 25% development growth increase in every city. That on top of the collective lands being finished in just 2 years, that's going to be 45% development increase. So I think I've actually decided to go for the royal reserves in the capital. It might be better economically to go for the tax offices because all holdings in this duchy gain plus 15% tax compared to just getting plus 0.8 from here. But getting 10 for the plus 10% for the development growth, I think is just too nice to pass up on. Already we brought this up to 5.9 development per month, and the development is at 39. Normally what happens is the more you increase your development, the lower this goes up per month because you get this existing development penalty, but we're just getting so much more bonuses at this point that it's really getting out of control. So I think we could have, gosh darn, Cordovans caught up to them pretty soon. They're at 44 right now, we're only 5 away. Okay, and I just finished the royal forest in the capital, and you can see we brought up to 6.4. That might be the highest we can get it, to be honest. Well, actually, the mayor still can upgrade the Carpenters Guild here, so we have room. Oh, and I guess I can still upgrade my trade ports in my secondary castle barony, which I have. I don't know why the temple guys don't upgrade their temples. It's a bit strange. The mayors were so happy to upgrade their cities. I think pretty much every single one of my mayors has upgraded their city to tier 2 at this point. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who do these guys think they are? Who do they think they are? Get out of here. You two, I don't care if you're not raiding me. I know you're coming for me next. There you go. I just cleaned up this nice border gore that I had going on. And now our little Holland kingdom is looking pretty good. Okay guys, so I just unlocked the tradition bailiffs, which actually gives me an additional building slot, meaning we can go around and build one whole new building in every single one of our counties right now. Now that we actually have unlocked that, that means that we have exactly how many buildings a normal gameplay would have had before the update. So it may have taken me 138 years, but I have gotten to the point of a normal pre-update game in terms of my buildings, at least. In terms of your domains, actually, not even, because at this stage I probably would have +2 from my culture, and here I only have +1. Oh, I definitely should go for regimental grounds in the capital. I wasn't even thinking of this. Still the building that gets the most levies. And it actually boosts all stationed men-at-arms, so this is good to have if you want to really stack your men-at-arms damage. Like, my men-at-arms are crazy. You can see I have 7 stacks of Varanian veterans, and they are tweaked 94 damage, which I don't think at this stage of the game I would be able to do pre-update, and I was not even trying to really boost these guys as much as I could. So I think you can really go crazy with stacking like your men-at-arms damage now post-update, but I do think it takes a little bit longer to really get cooking if you want to play tall. It's definitely still doable. Like, I think I proved that here. I am currently like 1 development away from being the highest developed realm in the entire game. And it did take like 140 years to do this, so I think it is slower to play tall than it was before, but I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted to do with this patch. They wanted to make it so you had to spend more time interacting with all the little nuances that they added, and I don't think that's a bad thing, you know? You do anything for, you know, hundreds of hours straight and you're gonna get bored of it. So here we go, we just hit 46 development in the capital. We're still getting 6.9.
Nice.
Development per month in here. I've pretty much like maxed everything I can. This guy's city is tier 4 for all that. I actually upgraded my temple, so I guess I could upgrade the trade ports in the temple now to squeeze even more development out of it. Let's check Cordoba. They're also at 46, but 37 of 100. So I think we will hit 47 before they will. Boom, and there you go, guys. We have hit 47 development, getting plus 7.0 now in the capital, just going higher and higher. And if we look at these guys in Cordoba, they are only at 46. What losers. Let's take a look at the beautiful development map. There is my tall Netherlands for you. I'm so happy to have been able to get access to this DLC in the update early. I really have to thank Paradox for that. Super awesome to go to the event, and just super awesome to play this early and to be one of the few people they shared it with. But I guess I have to thank you guys for that.